has landed. Jacky Rom has landed.
The following is based on actual events. There was a time before iPods, when the local radio personality reigned supreme, when people believed everything they heard on the radio. And in St. Maarten, one radio personality was more man than all the rest. His name was Dr. Sock. He was like a god walking amongst mere mortals. He had a voice that could make a golden retriever purr, and an array of nautical belts so colorful he made Frank Sinatra look like a hobo. In other words, Dr. Sock was the man, the boss, the big enchilada, the top dog, the head honcho, the big cheese, numero uno.
Welcome to the program.
Listen to me, I can push the right buttons. You never know.
Can I say is on the radio? I just did. Can't take me anywhere.
Somebody's gonna have to hose me down.
Slap me.
There you go.
More, please.
Harder.
More. Ooh, you're a feisty one. Now get close to the microphone, Mindy.
Hello.
Closer.
I'm very close.
Not close enough.
Yes, I am.
Why are all the women afraid of the microphone? I don't
Because
understand.
you intimidate us.
I intimidate you? You ain't seen nothing yet, honey.
When the clock struck 7 a.m. in the Northeast Caribbean, it meant one thing for St. Maarten and the entire Island 92 family. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm St. Maarten welcome to the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Sock.
This is fresh air in the...
Welcome back to the program. My dear friend Jacky Rom is in the studio. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hello.
You behaving yourself?
Never.
Perfect. That is the way it should be. So listen, big holiday weekend coming up.
Yes.
Here on the island and around the world.
Yes.
And of course, Friday is Good Friday, religious holiday and a public holiday. British question. She'd roll in her eyes at me.
No.
So, were there lots of Easter bonnets?
Yeah, they will have Easter bonnet competition, especially in schools. The kids will decorate bonnets. That's a big thing. But we have big chocolate eggs. In England it's very different. So we have giant eggs, and a child can get 4, 5, 6 eggs because the grandparents buy an egg. And so all the supermarkets are full with Easter eggs.
I mean, nothing like the two Jews talking about.
I know, it's
Easter,
funny,
right?
isn't it?
What are you doing for Easter? Good Jew.
Friday I'm filming another day, and that's going to be fun because I'm filming over at Grand Casse on Friday for the day, and we're going to do a comparison with my friend Vicky, who's right on the front in Grand Casse, and then we're going to walk down to the Lolo's, have something to eat in the Lolo's, and then in the evening we're going to go to a posh restaurant.
So what restaurant?
Posh. I call it posh, I don't know. The cottage or something.
Oh, sorry.
What do you don't use the word posh?
What posh means, fancy.
Yeah, but do you know where the word posh comes from?
Where does the word posh come from, Jack?
It comes from people that went transatlantic on a boat, so they went port side out and starboard home, and it meant they had money because they were always in the best cabins, and that's where the word posh comes from.
Say that again?
The word posh came from wealthy people that went on boats transatlantic.
Port side out.
It's port side out, starboard home, which is the acronym for posh. And
So
that's where it came from.
why would you want to be on the port side?
It must be where the sun came up, I'm guessing, and the sun set. So you were all, that was the posh.
If you were leaving from Britain, apparently.
You would go port side out and then starboard home. That's all I know. Please don't ask me anymore. And I learnt it as a kid because it was actually a song in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where the grandfather in his little hut sang the song port side up, starboard home with a capital P-O-S-H, posh.
Yeah, I never knew.
Yeah,
I love
that's
Chitty.
where it
I
comes
love Chitty.
The grandfather in the outside toilet. Remember, he got taken up and by the baddies.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah,
I love
Port
that
Side
movie.
Out, Starboard Home.
Okay, now
That's
we're
where
gonna
the
watch
word
Chitty
posh
Chitty Bang.
comes
I love
from.
it. Oh, good morning and welcome back to Fresh Air in the Morning, right here, Island 92 and Z105.1 FM. Glad you're with us, my dear friend Jacky Rom. We'll be back in just a moment or two. Rotary lunch meeting today. Looking forward to that. 9:16 right here in the Northeast Caribbean. More Fresh Air in the Morning is on the way.
Did he just say that?
Cast for today, cause of the small craft and high circuit advisories are in effect. Partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy, some isolated showers this afternoon through Thursday. Fair to partly cloudy. Forecasted high today, just about 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. Low temperature tonight, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius. Sun will set today 6:25 p.m. Rise tomorrow morning 6:10 a.m. Winds today are the north-northeast, light to gentle breezes, 4 to 10, becoming light and variable at times. The atmosphere is stabilizing as a high-pressure ridge builds. Drier air enters the region as the frontal boundaries slowly.
Calling it the St. Martin Insights with Emil Lee and Dr. Sock, news that matters to you.
Very good. And, of course, Alasco Violena's with us. Good morning, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dr. Sock. Thank you, Emily, for having me.
So I have a million questions that I want to ask.
And I
So
think I have 1,000,001 answers.
I hope so. So what's a typical day like? I mean, how hygienic is it? What was your, I want to say your room, your cell like? I mean, where do you go to brush your teeth? Where do you do your laundry? And what's life like in prison? It's,
Life in prison is totally different to the outside world. There's a certain set of rules that you follow and a different lifestyle that you have to abide to. So
okay, so
basically,
tell me about the rules.
rules is you stick to yourself, you mind your business, and like they would say in their burn the jail. Not literally burn the jail, but it's a term that where you have to don't cry about it. You have to sit and do your time. You have now, or if they're even working on the issue, but at that time, no, there was none.
Yeah, because you've been out for 2 years.
Yes.
And does the Department of Justice have a mentorship support network for prisoners who are coming out? There's no.
Well, actually, they are the probation department, which is supposed to be helping you.
Mm-hmm.
But in my experience, I did everything on my own, as well as with my.
So if
my
there
support
is,
group.
in practice, it isn't functioning in a way that's actually going to help people.
No, not as I can see, not at this point.
There's now there's a budget debate, and I hope that people, parliamentarians that are listening, question the Ministry of Justice about, is there budget for counseling? Is there budget for those types of programs?
There should be, unless you want to have a repeat offender
Right.
more times over, then you really don't want to see the generation of today change. You don't care about that individual or the generation because you put nothing in place in order to help them, because one of the main things for Point Blank Prison was rehabilitation. That's what you are supposed to do.
Right.
Go through a rehabilitation process within your term. But there is none.
Right.
They had the schoolings and stuff, but if you don't self-rehabilitate, then you're not going to get the help you want or need.
And at the end of the day, right, mental health
Yes.
really does matter.
Yes.
It really does. Alasco, I have to thank you for coming in to spending some time with us. Glad to have met you. Glad to now call you a friend. We friended each other on Facebook,
Right.
but now we're actual friends.
And how can people support? Because you have a program that you want to execute.
If people want to buy your book, how do they buy it?
They could go to Amazon, or they could contact me directly, or go to my Facebook page, Lexi Voiceovers. The page is pinned there. They could just click on the link and it goes straight to the Amazon page, or you could contact me at 554-4651. That's 554-4651, or by email, which is alascoviolenas@gmail.com.
Spell for everybody.
That's ALESCOVIOLENES@gmail.com.
And so for a last plug, you are looking for and hoping that you could get sponsors to help you mass produce the book.
Yes.
So that it can go to the prisons, to the schools, to...
That's the goal for the first half of this year.
How much you need?
It'll be $1 million, $2 million, $1 billion, as long as the money comes in that we can make
But
a change.
you
And that's
would
what it's
appreciate
for.
any money that comes in.
Yes.
So anything we can do to support, we're happy to do that. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
Great
you for
show.
having me.
Nice to meet you, man. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And of course, Alasco Villanes. Surviving Point Blanche Prison. You can find him on Facebook and find the book on Amazon. It's a great, easy read. I read it last night. So bravo. Thank you for the manuscript.
You're welcome,
I
man.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
It is...
This is the view that Dr. Sock wakes up to every morning. Do you have a coffee out there?
Yes, Jackie, you know what? It's so early when I'm off to the radio, it's still kind of dark. So, not usually. On the weekend, for sure.
No, you go live, don't you, every morning on your way in?
Yes, I do. As soon as I back out of the driveway.
I just love this table. And how many does it seat?
20.
And how often do you use it?
Pretty regularly.
Is it Thanksgiving?
We did 40 for Thanksgiving one year.
No.
We extended the table down 3 more. And we did 40 people for Thanksgiving one year. But, you know, we've been known to have a house full on the weekend. And always have people around for, Sunday at the beach.
And have you ever done Seder night here?
No, I have not done Passover Seder.
Oh,
I have not
that's
done
an idea.
I haven't done the Seder here.
Your house is absolutely beautiful. You don't cook, that's why the kitchen looks like...
That's not true.
Hold on, didn't you tell me that...
Chuck cooks. Mr. S cooks.
But you did tell me that you like pizza.
Like pizza is my favorite food ever.
But you're not eating pizza at the moment. So we've come into Dr. Sock's home studio. Could you just tell us a little bit how and why you've got a studio at home when you've got a lovely radio station?
Well, the studio kind of developed, I think, as a result of COVID. During COVID, we needed to broadcast from... They wanted people to be off the road. They wanted people to be home. And so we ended up bringing the remote studio that we use when we go out, like when we broadcasted from bed over in Omni, remember? I brought that whole remote studio home, and we did the midday show and Fresh Air in the Morning from the dining room here. We set it up with a view of the water, and that was kind of the inklings of thinking, I want to really set up a more permanent studio at the house. So in the event that I don't have any guests and I want to stay here and do the show, I can do it from here. So it was about, I think after the fire that we had a little more than a year ago, I ended up creating, actually let's even back further than that. The first real remote fixed studio that we made was when Herb moved out to Vegas for a period of time. He built a studio out there for him to do the happy hours. And then from there, after my dad and my mom started to get sick, I had said to her, we're going to build the same studio in Connecticut at my family's house, so I can do the show from Connecticut when I'm not there. That was our second fixed studio, and then after the fire that we had a little more than a year ago, I started, you know what? I want to build a studio at the house here in St. Maarten. From here.
So, a really important question.
Mm-hmm.
Why go in the studio? It's so wonderful to have that view. You have the most wonderful view.
So, to be really honest, I don't like to bring guests to the house.
Oh, yeah.
So, I try and keep work and home separate, so to speak. So, this is kind of a rare look behind the scenes. I usually don't bring radio folks home.
Well, So we're going to have a little chat, and so the audience can find out a little bit about you. But we have done like a full interview, didn't we? We did it in the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, we did.
Virtually.
So long ago. So long ago.
Does it feel like so long ago?
It feels like a different lifetime.
We were in lockdown, and I decided to make some video interviews. I did 18, and you were the first one that we released.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun, but I found it really fun because I didn't know anything about you. So I'm going to direct everybody to YouTube to actually see the full interview. But just to catch up, you didn't kind of just end up. You know, your career started in Wall Street, New York.
I was, in all fairness, right? I began my career. I always thought when I was in university, I thought for sure I was going to go to law school. I was hell-bent. Can I say hell-bent?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
So I was pretty convinced I was going to law school. And I had a late uncle, may he rest in peace, my adopted uncle, really family friend, Yale Sappern, who was a big attorney in the state of Connecticut. And he said to me, don't go to law school. Don't go to law school. There's too many lawyers. And in hindsight, he was probably right. Next 8 years of my career with Shawmut National Corporation that became Fleet Financial Group that ultimately went on to become today's Bank of America.
Oh, how fantastic. So you did 8 years, then where did you go to next?
But I ended up working or running a piece of software at the bank called Pega Systems, or Pega. And Pega was kind of the early days of business rules engines and artificial intelligence as we know it today. And as the bank started to go through a number of mergers, I think we went from Shawmut to Fleet. And at that point, Fleet wanted me to move to upstate New York to this small town called Utica. And I went to Utica for the weekend. And I'm like, I know this is really not for me. And I came back to Connecticut and I said, I think I'm gonna not go to Utica. And said, well, don't worry, we'll find you a job. And the next thing I know is like my phone rings and I get a phone call from this software company in Cambridge, Massachusetts called Pega Systems, who I had known these guys really well because I had worked with them and run their software for so many years. And they said, we understand you're looking to do something new. Would you like to come work with us in our New York City office?
How fantastic.
And that's how I ended up in New York.
And how long were you there?
About 12 years.
And so I know, because I've asked before, that you did regular holidays on St. Martin. Mm-hmm. That's how you kind of knew. Your parents came down here regularly. You came with them. And so just quickly, can you just go over the story about how you ended up taking over the radio station?
So, we were here on vacation from the time I was, from the early 1980s, probably 1981. I was, 14 years old. It was my first, 13, 14 years old, my first trip to St. Martin. And friends of mine, years later, we decided we were going to start Team Golden Dog, which was a charitable foundation to raise money for homeless animals. And ultimately, that's now part of the Team Golden Dog Foundation, which is a not-for-profit in the United States, is now part of the St. Martin Animal Welfare Foundation. But we decided that we were going to race in the St. Martin Heineken Regatta and do this as a fundraiser to raise money for homeless animals. Did that for a number of years. And right when that started, my friend Elisa Cohen, who used to own Bikini Beach Bar out in Orient, said to me, we're going to go to the radio station and we're going to tell them the story. And the next thing you know, I met my predecessor, Bogart, Mike Rieger, and the late Gary E. Brown Gaz. And they were they were doing the morning show. Gary would report on sailing and all the yachting stuff. And said, we'll give you really great coverage during the very early editions of Regatta Radio. And I made the half-hearted comment back then, and I then met the owners at the station, the Alcott family, and I made the half-hearted comment, said, when I get ready to retire when I turn 40, I'm going to go to broadcast school and come work with you guys. I don't go to broadcast school, just come on down, we'll teach you everything you need to know. And I came down.
And you remember that line?
Always to this day. And I came
No,
down.
but I mean, you took it seriously. No, some people wouldn't. It would be a throwaway line.
Well, we talked about it an awful lot
okay.
as time went on. And so in 2007, I retired from Pega Systems in early July of '07. Spent the next few months kind of packing and getting ready to move down here. Made a number of trips to set up house down here in my first home at the Simpson Bay Yacht Club. And then I came down for good.
You could walk to the studio
From
then.
when I would typically walk over every morning with Simon the Golden Retriever. And so I moved, Simon and Max, my first two Goldens, moved with me. And I showed up at work, and I used to do the middle of the day. We used to call my first radio program was called the Hoochie Coo with song. And the rock and roll Hoochie Coo, Rick Derringer's song was my theme song. And I did the midday from 11 to 2 at that point. And that started, I came down, I spent all of November of '07 watching, and then on December 3rd, 2007, was my very first day on the air at Island 92, and I'll never forget it. I wish I had the recordings.
Yes, because I would love to have played some of that.
Me too, but it's a whole different game from a technology perspective.
Oh, it's changed so much.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you remember the first time you got on the microphone?
Yeah, I remember. Well, you know what? I remember the first show that I opened. I remember the first edition of the Hoochie Coo. But I had been a guest on the radio, and I had helped do some voiceover work before the programming, before starting to be a host. But we had done some Team Golden Dog interviews and public service announcements and that kind of stuff, all to promote the sailing part of the program. So I remember the first day on the radio for sure.
So today is all about a day in your life, and you do outside broadcasts. You're doing a daily show. You've got 3 different studios. What's next for Dr. Sock or Island 92? Is there something that you would like to do that you haven't done?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't figured it out yet.
No, but that doesn't matter, does it?
No, I spent some time teaching at the University of St. Maarten. That was kind of on my bucket list for a while. I'm glad that I had that experience. I don't know. I just don't.
Would you do the same thing that was done to you if somebody walked in that you just felt was right? Would you say, give somebody an opportunity like you were given an opportunity?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I also think, I like to think about Island 92 and Z105, which is, of course, our second station that's been with us now since early 2017. I like to think
they're your babies.
Well, I like to. I didn't find either of the stations. I didn't create.
You can still adopt a baby.
We did adopt them and bring them to where they are today. I would like to think that, if I sit in the chair, I host Fresh Air in the morning. I'm not the first host. I'm not the last host of that program. It is the flagship.
You're keeping the chair warm?
For whoever's going to host it after me.
Yeah, I've been teaching drama for 30 years, and I've just kind of retired from teaching, but one of my students that I put all through her examinations is coming back now to teach. So, and I've just kind of organised that, and she's now taking over. So I kind of felt that maybe one day that would be the same for you.
Yeah, I think at some point in time, I don't think I'm ready to retire yet.
No.
But at some point in time, we'll find somebody that wants to take over and be the host of Fresh Air in the morning. And over time, there'll be less of me and more of them. And maybe they take over Monday through Friday, and I come in and do Fresh Air in the morning on the weekend. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah,
and that's it, isn't it? You don't know what's ahead.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, I would love to find that person that wants to learn the radio business and learn the broadcasting business and come in and take us to the next level, whatever that might happen to be.
I want to say a huge thank you for letting me intrude on a day in your life, because it's been fun. I love doing the radio, coming co-host with you.
It's always it's
so much fun, even though you mute me
frequently.
You didn't mute
Tell
me
me off.
You didn't mute me once today. I don't know how did that happen.
Yeah, that makes a change, doesn't it? So just thank you for letting us see a little bit of your world.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate it. Thank you for letting me be part of all of your viewers' worlds as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sark has left the building.